Hello, beautiful Aries. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your next 6 months money, career, success story. We're going to pull some cards first, then we're going to jump into your coffee cup. If you're new here, this is Divine Light. And if you go on to enjoy this message, don't forget to give some love. Go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe. It's a free way to give some love and support. Also, you can hit the bell so you never miss a video. Scorpio, we have a sea serpent. Okay, beautiful. We have an owl for you. And what else? A cosmic egg. These are actually spiritual creatures right there. Sea serpent is an end of a cycle. So if you have been going through maybe emotionally a draining cycle of financial situations, that's coming to an end. Cosmic egg is about a collective consciousness that is everything that happened to you. This is a synchronicity connecting you to a new future that you wanted to create. That's why cosmic egg shows up. As you can see, the snake is not really eating its tail anymore, like the sea serpent here. It is ascending towards a higher dimension. This is probably an upgrade, ending a defeating situation and moving towards an upgrade. While you are going towards that, we have the Scorpio and the owl. This is the air energy, but the owl is a little bit more connected to the spiritual world. Owl is, I don't know if you ever heard an owl flying. You cannot hear or saw them flying. You cannot hear their wing flap, meaning there's some things hidden. The intuition, you can only sense through intuition. And I don't know if you ever seen one actually turning their head. They can really turn their head around with a big angle. This means that you are capable of seeing things that some people cannot really see or feel, but you need to be attuned to that. Another thing with the Scorpio is you need to defeat your own nature as well. I need to mention that because if you ever heard the story of the scorpion and the frog, Scorpio has a certain nature. They can hold a grudge, and if those grudges are actually causing you to sync with the frog, or maybe you're turning that into your nature by having a wall around you against certain type of people, certain type of endeavor, that can really limit you guys. It cannot allow you to cross to a new life, cross the bridge, cross the river, if I can give it an example. That's why you need to deal with that a little bit Scorpio nature. Another thing with it though, Scorpio is also a desert animal. They can live in the desert. This means that you need to utilize a little bit more of your resilience during this next 6 months in order to achieve material success. I see there are tears of joy coming, and there's a massive chunk of money waiting for you on the bottom, but that needs to be that's why maybe the Scorpio energy comes through as well, because Scorpios go under the sand and dig up the sand a little bit. So you might have to do that in order to move those energies a little bit around. Some of you are getting a highway here. This is actually maybe even 3-step highway. I told you the steps are not clear. Maybe you don't know how you're going to get on that fast track, but there are 3 steps. And when you figure them out, they kind of look like little dots. So it can be like a glass steps that you're not seeing. This kind of reminds me of a glass ceiling on your income as well. We only can earn a certain amount of money we think we're worthy. We think we're capable. If you don't think you're capable of anything more than that, you wouldn't see that glass ceiling and you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't see this glass steps in front of you that can carry you to this fast track. You wouldn't grow. I feel like that's going to be the first month, especially for you to recognize what your limit is and why do you have your limit. Maybe it's because of fear of handling too much, or thinking that I have to work really hard in order to get there, or money sometimes can be a danger. Okay. I remember for women it can be a danger because it can be a cause of getting robbed. Maybe you have deep down that kind of a fear. That's why you're trying to get rid of it all the time, or certain circumstances putting you on a corner that you have to let it go all the time. I feel like this is first month is about recognition of that. The second month is we have a crocodile here that you're going to deal with that. So when you start to recognize something, the life throws at you a similar situation, so you can't tackle it down. I feel like that's why you need the Scorpio energy here. So another thing, that even though Scorpio is small, the venom is strong. So you need to deal with the situation. The second month comes in front of you in a very strategic way. You cannot be the warrior, Aries, here, because you are really brave, you're courageous, you walk into conflict without hesitation, and you have the power to resolve it. But this time, this is a different thing that you're going to be facing, and this is going to require strategy and really smart decision making and thinking. And that's why the owl comes in here, because your intuition is gonna guide you towards the right direction, right action. But if you do what you used to do, it can really it can be a waste of time initially, okay? Because you're gonna go back around and develop another strategy here. When you do it that way, I see there's a clarity coming in. Eyes are really focused on the right thing. I feel like maybe instead of going to the top of the mountain and fighting with the crocodile, you might find a gateway on the bottom. That's why the eyes are actually looking at there. I feel like this is actually seeing the future here. You see that there's another entrance to the mountain, and you take that road instead of just going to the top of the mountain and fighting with, I know the crocodiles don't really live on top of the mountain, but still. And this can be like maybe you're applying for a job, like a highest position, but there's something maybe available that you can get you can get to the highest position even faster than that. So something's like revamping, readjusting is going to be important here in order for you to tap into this massive abundance source. I see there's a heart forming within the 4th month, and you see like they're flying here. There's a women actually celebrating something, and I see that is going to be a success. When you change the strategy, it is going to become a success for you, because I see a king also wearing like a massive cloak, or maybe even like a flower bouquet around your head. Some massive like a thing, a celebration happening for you. And this can be like, kind of looks like a wedding scene to me. I'm gonna go with the literal meaning of it. Maybe you are a wedding organizer, or you have flowers. Maybe you are giving flowers to certain events, but you're trying to go get to the crocodile is a wild animal. Maybe you're trying to deal with the big guys here, where you're trying to compete with them. But when you go lower, maybe you're going to have much more and better opportunities for yourself. Okay, guys, that's when you realize that you are actually celebrated where you are. I feel like that is going to also show you those glass stairs that it's going to carry you to the high level that you desire, to the highway, and maybe even something that is going to be a permanent change for you, permanent upgrade for you. And the 5th month, I see there's like a confetti. They're flying, like throwing confetti at you. Maybe you're going to be celebrated where you are. The 5th month, we see here a spade, and we see a man wearing a massive bow tie. Bow tie can symbolize this person's gentleness. First of all, gentlemen usually wear this kind of bow ties, but the size of it tells me this person might be a big authority. I remember spades being the swords suit. If this is the case, this person can be someone really highly logical, and they're guided by mental energy rather than passion or emotion. And this person likes explanations, and there are times that we don't really like to give explanations. We don't like to explain ourselves why we're doing certain things. But if this is a service that you guys are selling, this might require a presentation, not an explanation, but a presentation. So if this is something that you are, like, think of it in the simplest way. Maybe you're not even working, you're retired, but you want some extra income. This one wearing the bow tie can be someone maybe working in an institution and can give people the help they need. But before you get it, maybe you need to create a presentation for that. It doesn't always have to be a PowerPoint presentation, just shows people each stage, like step-by-step instructions of where you're coming from. It can be verbally expressing yourself, or in a written way expressing yourself very clearly. And there was a book from Dale Carnegie. I forgot the name of the book. It's about communication. And that was a really effective book. Actually, I used that in the past. And that gives you an idea to how to really communicate with people and how to speak and maybe even write, which clarity is really important, clarity of the intention, and also explaining everything, because Aries tend to be really, you're really smart, you tend to be really smart. And what happens there is, because you're smart, you're thinking everybody has the same smart as you do, and sometimes you might even get frustrated because you might have to over explain yourself. But the thing is, this over explanation, not to you, like, I mean, it's to you, it's an over explanation, where some people that's a regular thing. Okay, when you just work it that way, that's why the logic, the source, the communication opens here and builds two pillars for you. You're gonna guarantee, you see the smiley face here, there's like an upset face too. Maybe you're gonna get a little bit frustrated because you talk too much here, but it is going to bring you the clarity, the success, maybe even the path to this chunk of money. Okay, guys, let's dive into your saucer now. If you have a specific question, a desire, an intention, hold it in your mind. Something is flowing into your life very beautifully and in a very like a smoothly. It's not a rush job, so that's why you need to take your time to build it, because this is the next 6 months period of time. Sometimes I see in the comments that nobody wants to know that far, and I understand, but I saw like a couple comments, and maybe there are like short terms that I'm posting. You can view those as well, okay? So I see here there's someone who's holding a doll in their hand. It can be like a bow also, but the arrow is missing. And there is somebody else here maybe carrying the arrow. This means cooperation, guys. So maybe you already have the tools, the words, for example, necessary, but you don't have the right information to put it out there. The second month timeline, you're holding the bow. But in order this message to get to outside, you need to cooperate with someone, and that someone can give you the like the arrow that you need to shoot. Okay, so the arrow can be like the tool that is going to push the button to start moving things forward. This can be maybe if you need to be tactical and communicate. Even if the person that you don't like or a situation that you don't want to be in just requires you to be peaceful in that space and act peaceful even if you're not. Okay, guys, let's dive into the tarot now. I feel like some of you might be in situations that you're dealing with people that you just want to shoot with an arrow, but if you can tell them to scoot over, the button that they need to push can be behind them and you can shoot to the button. Okay, think of it like you're waiting for an elevator, but there is like a colleague that you don't even want to talk to is standing in front of them. Instead of pushing the person towards the button, what do? You just, excuse yourself and then tell them to move over and then push it. I feel like this is a situation. All right, guys, because it's not guaranteed when you push them, the person, they're gonna push the button back with their back. Okay, let's see what happens here when it comes to tarot. We have the Emperor. This is you guys, this is your energy, and you're in a very potent timeline. This shows me that your energy is really powerful. You can really get what you desire, but you need to embody the energy of the Emperor. Emperor holds a golden bowl in his hand, which symbolizes here, what do we see here? It's like a gold fountain or like a fall, like waterfall. We have you right there with a diamond. Powerful energies, guys. Okay, is this Zeus with a diamond in his eye? The thing is, I told you that the Emperor is a ruler, the decision maker, but also he holds a golden bowl. The golden bowl symbolizes the feminine energy, creative thinking. So you can be the power to execute, but also you need to come up with creative ideas to execute. You cannot be like, you're the axe. What are you going to do? Are you going to build things with it or destroy things with it? So you have the selection for that. When you start with the intention that I'm going to build with my energy, then the course of the events are going to start to change here. Man of Worlds, this is King of Pentacles. which is the achiever. I told you, when you redirect your energy, we see all the wealth, the beautiful plane right there. Saturn is a ruling. Also, it represents, Saturn, I think, represents the Capricorn. So Capricorn is about structure, discipline, responsibility. It seems like it's just going to be installed into you when you start to use the creative masculine and feminine energies. Okay, and we have a land, the footprint on the moon, meaning this can be even something that you're dealing with is an impossible thing. Maybe it seems like an impossible thing to you right now, but it seems like the impossible will be made possible here. We have the Colosseum. The Colosseum, even though it's like where the gladiators actually fought, I feel like you're not going to be the gladiator on the field. You're just going to be the emperor watching everything over and organizing it and also keeping the structure alive, okay? Another thing we have is Eight of Swords. This will really push you outside of your comfort zone. Another thing with the Eight of Swords is an illusion of entrapment. You might feel, I can do this much. I told you the glass ceiling in the beginning, the glass stairs I don't see. These are the crystal, the Eight of Crystals, the crystal steps, guys, crystal ceilings that you're not aware of. But they can be you can break them. You can get above them. You can rise above them. But the thing is, first you need to realize that there's a limitation in your mind. Crystals is the source, which is a mental energy. When you recognize there's a mental blockage, it is going to become easier to get out of there. Okay, another thing we see on the Eight of Swords is that we see this lady, she's in the marshes, and maybe she feels the marshes around her, the sounds and stuff. That's why she doesn't want to get out of there. But the truth is, if she's not tied very tightly. If she can remove the ties around her eyes, she's going to realize the swords are not only surrounding her, they're on her side, which she can grab one and cut the rest of the stuff off and save herself out of there. That's why we have this is the Sage of Worlds, Knight of Pentacles energy. This can be coming as an advice. This is the golden ball that I told you the Emperor is holding, guys, by the way. This means that creative ideas, also planting those seeds very carefully. Then, yeah, you cannot really left them alone like that. You need to nurture them. You need to protect them. These are your creative ideas you're pursuing. This is maybe even the place that you're working at. You need to be really mindful with what you're creating rather than just leaving it to other people's mercy. Like, it's about nurturing, like you're nurturing a baby. It is going to grow and bring lots of coins back, okay? Pentacles back. What do we have? This kind of looks like a wheel of fortune to me, guys. It's just a wheel, shows the time. This might require some time, which is we're looking at the second half of this year here, okay? Maybe that's why people are commenting that they don't want to know about what's going to happen within 6 months. This is the second half of the year. Like, the seeds that you're planting today are going to be ready for reaping at the end of the year for you, which is, the time is passing so fast. I don't know why. It just seems like a very long period of time. We have dark thoughts. This came for a couple other signs. I feel like here the times are affecting, the news are affecting your energy. So you're the Emperor here. The one other thing you need to have control over is your own mind. And actually, I feel like that's the only thing we have control over: our own mind, our own actions, our own body. So you need to really have control over it, and do not let those dark thoughts to take you inside of this dark labyrinth. What's inside of the labyrinth? We have a Minotaur, guys. Inside of the labyrinth, there's Minotaur that can trap you in there, that can really hurt you in there. It's a mental monsters, basically. Don't step into it. Instead of that, go after the transformation. This can be something that you're used to cultivate. You're used to feed those dark thoughts, but this time you need to go towards the happy clouds and the sunshine, not to the dark. That's going to require transformation. She's holding a scroll here that can be requiring an information that you need to tap into. It can be a spiritual information, maybe through I wouldn't say hypnosis. I don't know why the word came to me, but maybe also meditation or like something changing your mind is going to be required, or it can be a physical thing that you need to change your physical environment. There's a bridge. Maybe you need to go cross the bridge to see what the changes will be. We have joyous fun here, so this can be coming as a counter measure for the dark thoughts, that you enjoy yourself, do things you like, and just give your inner child what she desires, okay, she or he desires. It can be even like having some ice cream, even if it's winter time, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, giving yourself some, maybe going to the beach and making sand castles. Okay, because the children don't really want Porsche, guys. They don't want Porsches or castles. They just want to have fun and feed that child, okay, with that fun. We have here a loss. The loss is not really, okay, this is loss of energy, I feel. Some of you might be overthinking about certain things. This is coming as a sign for you to know. So this is not exactly a loss, because the ship is not already attached. And it seems like here, maybe he doesn't need that boat right there. I was listening to actually a gentleman a moment ago, and he says like a yacht is a waste of money. He says because, just because it's not something that you can use every day. It can be something, let's go with that you are putting a lot of energy and money in, which is not going to be used every day. It's not going to be something getting you pleasure. It's something maybe you just think it's going to be fun, but it seems like you're maybe losing the interest on that. But this is because of the fragmented energy, because maybe you need to put your energy into the things that you truly desire, rather than thinking, if they have it, I should have it, then I'll be happy. Just direct your energy. That's because you're all over the place. Your energy is all over the place. Maybe you're thinking you need that. But instead, just go ahead. We have a castle in this picture, and find that castle that will really make you happy, and work on the thought and the feeling that you are deserving of what you truly desire, okay? Let's see what we have. This is your final message. We have the calm. During all this thing, you need to keep the calm. That's very important. That's why we have all this earth energies coming forward here, because there's a transformation happening. Can freak you out and maybe stop you on your tracks. In order to avoid that, you need to focus on keeping yourself calm. The cup of tea is also a great sign that it can, chamomile tea or something that calms your nerves can be also helpful during this timeline. I know you're not going to be drinking chamomile tea for the duration of next 6 months, but something to really help you calm down, maybe picking up a hobby that will be helpful to keep your nerves calm, okay? It'll be good. All right, beautiful. That's all for today. Hope you enjoy your reading. If you do, I'm going to add some more videos right here for you to enjoy. I wish you all a magical day. Bye. Hit the subscribe and join the family.